How you doing? This is BK from manfulwars.com, where I'm promoting polite patriotism to help nice ladies and gents offline teach kids to look, talk, and feel great too, and to help people worldwide locally discuss and share great online info offline to help people think for themselves as better people making better places to live. So check out manfulwars.com and the links below for more on that. But this video is called COVID-19 Plandemic: Why Men Must Help Each Other Man Up to Beat It, to deal with it since women can't. Why men must help each other man up to deal with it since women can't, right? And this is really, really key, right? And in fairness to guys out there, we've all been hit with ongoing attacks, and girls and everybody really, right? And they've been getting worse, and they're softening us up for stuff like staying at home for the next 18 months and not saying anything to deal with this flu. As opposed to something more reasonable. And yet, if we can respect each other, help each other man up, the rest of us man up, women and children chill out, and then, good company, put us in a good mood, we put each other in a good mood, then we can get some stuff done. And in fairness to guys, who've been kind of trapped in their own world, trapped in their own bored, bitchy bubble, a lot of them these days are, in fact, people in general, they want to be nicer during this crisis. They want to be less selfish, less annoying in case they need people, right? And so a lot of guys are switching from more silly or stupid behavior to more of a serious and respectable kind of busyness about them. And as a corresponding factor, with them kind of busy, the women are kind of calming down and they're relaxing and they're kind of being good company as the women's auxiliary kicks in. And they put us in a good mood, right? Busy guy hammering away at a construction site, sweating, might try not to break his finger, right? Pretty girl walks by the construction site. Oh, look at that poor guy working so hard. My goodness, he's blah, blah, blah. He's focused on something, probably not going to bother me, So I'll just distract him, put us both in a good mood. She walks by. Guy looks up, whistles, right? Girl kind of cares about her, don't care, doesn't make a big deal out of it, and then kind of floats away. And the guy's like, meh, all right, goes back to hammering away, right? That's archetypically how that sort of thing works, right? Straight up, guys and girls, or girls can, instead of use eye contact, they can use shy contact, right? So more of that is organically happening now, right? As just people are just too busy to sort of bother people, feel sorry for themselves, right? And so that's a good thing. We can leverage that, and here's why. So point number one is respect, right? You need to have respect. You need to have self-respect to be able to show and get respect, right? That's the only thing you need to do, which means you as a man have to have the self-respect, or men have to have, if you're a woman watching this, hey, good for you. Might have some better men to hang out with, whatever, right? And for women out there, you don't bother them. You don't press them. You're not fighting for a world where they have to fight, right? They want to talk about stuff like this, hardcore, whatever. There's some hardcore chick killers out there. Fantastic. They don't, no problem, right? Just we'll do something else. We'll take the edge off. No worries. Some do, some don't. But guys, come on, right? So to have self-respect, you got to be able to handle this. You got to be able to at least hear something. Johnny Cash shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Can you hear that? As the song goes, right? You got to be able to at least hear stuff, right? And then you have to be able to show and get some, and that includes helping other guys man up, right? Guys in an elevator with me, construction site or whatever, and he's just like, ugh. And I'm like, what is it, man? He goes, oh, you don't want to know. And I go, fuck you, man. I'm a grown-ass man. I can at least hear it, possibly help. Don't just be a sack of shit near me. You're not a chick. Just smile at, and hopefully that fixes half of it. Maybe you trust me and tell me the rest later. What the hell is it? He goes, well, God damn it, I was supposed to get this done by 2, but delivery was late, and now it won't be done till later, and boss is going to, it's going to be crazy. And he thinks he's burdening me with that, right? And he's not, unless he's excessive or I'm excessive. And I'm like, hey, man, I feel sorry for you. Good luck with that, whatever. He's like, all right, right? Doesn't just have to be a sack of shit near me, right? So you got to be able to show and get respect, and you got to be able to trust yourself to be able to handle things, and trust other men to be able to handle things. And if you can do that, if you can have self-respect, if you can show and get it with somebody else, and if you can, as part of this process, be able to deal with this stuff, then you'll be better off. And if men do this, then they'll be better off. They'll be like, COVID-19, I heard some stuff. And instead of going, touch hair, face, sketchy, not supposed to, blah. Screw that, man. Listen, we got some real shit going on, right? And you can help other men feel like it relative to women and children, right? Because at this time of crisis, some of that old thinking kicks in, right? and it'll put you in a good mood to stuff, and you can trust them to be able to handle it, right? So that's important. So just broadly philosophically speaking, if you want to look at this information and look at everybody around you, right? Most of my divisions don't break down along race and age or other things, right? I think all that stuff's important, all that stuff's a factor. But the one that I know that works for nice ladies and gents to respect each other and teach kids to and communicate well offline, not just online, talking to strangers, typing whatever, like little goldfish, snarkily and bitchily eating and pooping little bits of information, but actually communicating, right? Formally, well, right? This works, right? This is sort of a universal thing, right? Where all men can kind of size up another one, women, kids, we all kind of know where we are, and once we establish we're cool, then we can relax, mind our business, or look at each other or talk to each other well. So that's really important, right? So number two is women can't, right? Women can't do this, right? If women try and do the same thing, right? If women are like, you men need to man up. This is ridiculous, unbelievable. We have a crisis, and you men need to, they can appeal in some sort of more charming way, possibly, right? But if they try, oftentimes it's seen as emasculating, right? A woman telling a man to man up is seen as an emasculating threat, right? Whereas a man telling a man to man up is seen as a guy with self-respect who's trying to help you have some, right? And I've got extensive video at manforwars.com kind of reflecting this, right? Otherwise, some of these big, messed up, dangerous, gender-confused, bored, bitchy guys might just kill a bitch for snapping on them like that, right? If my girl was snapping on some guy like that, right, I'd snap on her. I'd send her inside, whatever. You need to man up. Shut up. Get inside now, right? And I'd say, hey, look, man, look, she has a point, but here's the point, right? And boom, and I'd hit him with the man-to-man stuff, right? So girls can't do that. It's too dangerous, right? It's just too dangerous, especially with the way guys are now, where they're sort of, brainwashed to being competitive, kind of shitty, bitchy versions of girls, right? So it's kind of like girls bitch about each other, girls, whatever, girls get jealous, girls get competitive like that. Sometimes guys turn into the same thing, right? And so it's too dangerous for women to try to get men to man up in the same type of man up way. So, and this is also kind of like how some trans guys, right? Trans guys are the more extreme example of the same thing happening to a lot of men, certainly in Toronto, Canada, certainly other places around the world, certainly something a lot of people on the internet talk about, even if it's more difficult to talk about it off the internet sometimes. But, some trans people can be fine, right? I've met some trans people that are fine. They're trying to be good. A girl trying to be good at being a guy, straight up cool. A guy trying to be good at being a girl, wants to be nice, hope people treat him, now trying to be a her nice, right? That's different. But the worst trans bitchy bullies get like that, where they want to get away with anything by saying, I'm a woman, right? It's big guy, still got his pants potatoes, is going, oh, you have to let me into a woman's shelter. It's like, dude, you're not even taking this seriously. You just put on some makeup and you're a pervert or a pedophile or something. And you want, oh, got to get into the batter's women's shelter where it's all women and they don't want any men around because they've been in abusive relationships. But I have to get in there because I'm a woman too. It's like, no woman acts like that. That's just a fucking ugly bitch, right? You don't bully your way into places. You don't bully people into putting up with you being a mess, right? That's not what a woman does. That's not good at being a woman, right? That's a bitch. That's a liar. That's a bully. That's garbage, right? And yet, they can do that. A guy could be like, a trans guy could take a crap on the hood of your car. You'd be like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trans. I'm a woman. This is all I do. My hormones were acting up. I had my period and I pooped on the hood of your car. Don't say anything. I'm a woman. You're not a woman. You're a jerk, right? So, it's important to kind of know the difference, to know the difference, right? Yeah, that's not what a real woman does. Doesn't force you to put up with them. Doesn't bully you into putting up with them. Like, that's just an ugly bitch. Bitches know, girls know that's an ugly bitch. That's the jealous ugly bitch that bitches at the rest of us. Guys know, right? There's nothing to do with you or barely anything. Ignore you until you switch, right? And if she's good at being a woman, she can switch. Bitch for no reason, switch to nice girl, right? Guys, if they're being a bitch, they can't switch to nice girl, right? Unless they're super serious about it. So just permanent ugly bitch, and that's a problem, right? So finally, I'll tell you a story about myself working at a mixed martial arts gym. Mixed martial arts slash also had weights there. So half kind of weights and usual gym stuff and half mixed martial arts gym, right? I was working there. I was doing sales, right? But I also worked out there and did some training there and so on, right? And it was a holiday Sunday, right? It was a holiday Sunday at this mixed martial arts gym, right? And the gym usually closes at like 6 p.m. or something. Now it was closing at 5 p.m. And everybody wanted to enjoy their holiday break, get home to their families, and so on, right? All the people that worked at the gym trying to make it easier for all the people that worked out at the gym, right? And the guys, some guys, is like, I don't know, 10, 15 guys in the change room, right? In the men's change rooms, mostly men, some girls there too, obviously, right? But one of the girls who's, in charge of gym operations or whatever, some managerette or some version like that, she yells into the men's change room, hey, you guys have to hurry up. We're closing early today. It's a holiday, blah, 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 right? She's just trying to yell at those guys to hurry up. She's not going into the men's change room, but she's yelling through the door, right? But they're taking their sweet time. They're not hurrying up, right? They're not hurrying up. They're just taking their sweet time. They're talking to each other. They're not focused on, deodorant and then this and then whatever, lotion and then clothes and then out of here, right? They're focused on, the other day I saw this and so, and what do you think? Bruce Lee said, be like water, formless. Well, I'm not so sure about that. They're talking more than they're trying to get dressed and leave, right? And there's a bunch of people at the gym that are like, everybody knows we're closing early today. It's a holiday, so we should be rushing and going, right? So the managerette or whatever, she yelled into the change room once, and then she yelled at it again or whatever, and she was getting frustrated, right? And I noticed this, just over there at my desk or whatever, and so I was like, all right, screw this. I can't take this shit, right? I can't take a chick not being able to lift a suitcase. I can't take my girlfriend upset the server didn't bring us ketchup for her fries and upset because she doesn't want to ask somebody and make them upset. Screw this. Get up, jump up from the table, go grab a bottle of ketchup, come back down, slam it on the table. The great ketchup hunter has succeeded, as always, my sweet, right? I can't, right? I can't. So anyway, so I go into the mixed martial arts men's change room. I look at all these guys, 10, 15 guys, at least a half a dozen hardcore killers, maybe 10 hardcore killers, mixed martial arts gym, UFC fighters, jiu-jitsu, karate, boxing, right? I would say in that change room of those guys, right, 90% could kick the shit out of me as an average height, average weight, average build guy, right? But 90% of those guys could physically kick the shit out of me, right? No doubt about it, right? The others may have a fighting chance, but the ones that are serious training at the mixed martial arts gym, no way in hell, right? Not possible, period, right? But I looked at all these guys. I was like, hey guys, look, we're closing early today. We're all working hard to make sure that you got a nice gym to go to, and you're gonna have to speed it up. You can't just talk instead of change. You got to change, and then you can talk outside, right? And I'm going to stand here in the change room and not let you comfortably talk to each other and change slowly until you guys, start changing faster and talking less and getting out, right? And I looked at all these guys. And these guys looked at me, and they're sizing me up as a potential threat to their ego or whatever. And, try to threat to egos versus make sense versus who the fuck are you? Versus my gym too, right? And so I'm staring at these guys and they're staring at me and they can tell I'm dead serious and I'm just looking at them. I'm like, what? Right? Now, in fairness to myself and to them, a couple of guys did look at me like they wanted to kill me, right? They did look at me like they wanted to fucking insult me like that, fucking chop your head in half with a fucking karate chop, right? It's like, no, listen, I looked around, saw how everybody's feel. Some guys were cool, straight up, shrug. Right? Some guys were whatever. Some guys were looking at me like, are you trying to start a fight? Because I do this, right? And I looked at him and I was like, hey, next time it could be you and it could be me, right? It could be you needing to say this to me, right? So just get that, get hip to that. Get that through your head, right? This ain't personal. You could be working here and I could be doing that, right? So, just kind of said that to him, right? And then they kind of shrugged. And then they started changing a little faster, right? And they started talking a little less and changing. They didn't stop them totally, right? I just started talking a little less. I saw them start moving a little faster, changing a little faster, respecting me, respecting each other, respecting the collective. All right, I guess we are all going to do this, right? And they started changing a little faster and whatever. And I waited for a couple of minutes. And after a couple of minutes, I saw them all, changing more than talking. And I left. And that was it. I left, went back to my desk, sat down, chilled out, right? Um, and yeah, right. And then they left, right? And then the gym closed, and then the employees left shortly after that. And I saw some of these guys, maybe like eight of these guys out of the 10, 15 that were in there, eight of these guys in a little circle in the parking lot outside the gym, continuing their conversation. These guys friendly, know each other, want to keep talking about something, whatever. I said what's up, and they said what's up, and that was it. See? So anyway, I just want to make that clear. And then with respect to that, there's lots and lots of stuff out there to learn, lots of stuff out there to share, lots of stuff out there to do, lots of info to get out to help people think for themselves. You can see more in the links below for a simple plan that worked before as well. Otherwise, BK from manforwars.com. Like, comment, subscribe, share, get in touch with questions, to work together, financial support as you'd like. Otherwise, hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon, and I hope you talk better soon too. Cheers.